my name is Michelle Downham, and this is my informative speech. My birthday is January 17th, 1980, so my speech is about all of 1980. My audience is Nancy and her family, and the dog. We're counting him because we're short a person. So there we go. He counts. All right, there we go. Okay. So 1980 was a leap year, and so if I were born on February 29th, which is the extra day in the year, I would be 8 years old right now. Technically 9 years old next year, so that's a little interesting tidbit. The price of gas was $1.19. Today I bought gas for $2.29, I believe, so it's very close to what it was back then. We all remember the mid-2000s with the Jack and the prices up to $4 and $5, which was horrible. So I'm very happy to spend about 30 bucks on a whole tank for once. Ronald Reagan was president, just elected president. Many of you youngsters don't know, but Ronald Reagan was a big movie star in the 1940s and 50s. He was quite popular. He was also mentioned in the movie Back to the Future. Michael J. Fox made fun of him, like a little comment about him being president, and the parents thought that was ludicrous of how a movie star could become president later on. One of the chart-topping songs was Rock With You by Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, of course, famous member of the Jackson 5. That was one of his biggest hits when he first split off from them and started his own career. He is now passed. He died in 2009 from an overdose of benzodiazepines and propofol, which are two medications that are sedatives and pain medicines that his doctor overdosed him on, who is now in jail, which is, he should be. The next little fact, on TV, the famous commercial, "Pardon me, would you pass the Grey Poupon?" Was in 1980, which I didn't realize. It's an older commercial that have been redone many, many times over the years, and spoofed and redone, and it's lasted so many years, so it cracks me up. Millions of people tuned in 1980, June, May-ish, somewhere in that range, for the famous episode of Who Killed JR on Dallas. It's a show that I'm not terribly familiar with, but I remember the episode, although I still don't know who killed JR, so it remains a mystery. Mount St. Helens also erupted in Washington, creating a plume of ash that covered hundreds of miles of Washington state. The Voyager 1 was sent out to Saturn and was able to satellite back pictures of moons that was orbiting, so they named one of them Janus, oddly enough. In December of 1980, John Lennon was killed. He was assassinated and murdered, however you want to put it, by one of his fans. He was only 40. John Lennon, of course, being one of the famous members of the Fab Four, the Beatles. Also, John Wayne Gacy, otherwise known as the Clown Killer, who's terrifying, was captured and convicted of murdering over 33 young men and boys. He preferred to strangle them and then bury them underneath his house in his crawl space, which I'm sure created quite a stench. And next, Japan, one of our favorite creators of technology, they came up with the fax machine and the camcorder. The fax machine, one of my first memories is on TV commercials and TV shows of people trying to fax something, and then it starts getting eaten by the machine, and then people are trying to get it out of the machine and panicking. So I didn't really have the greatest impression of fax machines at first, but we use them all the time at work still, oddly enough. You think we'd be over that, but not quite yet. And Post-it notes. Post-it notes came out in the same year, which are still around today. They've invented themselves and reinvented themselves and kept the business popular. So I love Post-it notes. I use them every day. Other people born in 1980, Jessica Simpson, who was a pop star, blonde, and known for her blonde and not so smart comments on TV. She was a pop star, kind of faded into the wayside now. And also Macaulay Culkin, who's a famous actor of Home Alone. So that's my tidbit about 1980. Thank you.